G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today, we're going to be breaking all of the rules of the P-51H. You'll see exactly what I mean in a moment, but first I would just like to discuss a couple of things. So, the channel is about to hit 25k subs, and I've got a Q&A running at the moment. If you'd like to go and ask a question, I will try and find a way to leave it in the description. Basically, it's a post in the community section, and it doesn't let me export that. It doesn't let me, share it or link it or something like that. So you have to actually go to the communities tab and have a look at where it says 25k sub Q&A, which is really frustrating because I want to, put it in the description, but I can't. So if you'd like to ask a question, you better be quick because as soon as it hits 25k, I'm going to do it. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for subscribing, for everyone for watching, everything like that. Honestly, it means a lot. And it's, it's just me, myself and I, sharing my opinions, maybe helping you guys learn something. But in this particular video, in the P-51H, I'm going to show you exactly what this thing is capable of. Honestly, when I first got the P-51H, it was stock, no engine injection, no belts. It was kind of sluggish. It wasn't as interesting as I thought it might have been. But honestly, as you upgrade, it just becomes an absolute monster. And this happens with everything at this tier, especially props. As soon as you get that engine injection, you're golden. It is a completely different plane. It happened with me with the G56, with the BF-109K4, with the P-51D, the P-51H, the Corsairs, everything. I can't wait to get the Tiger Cats engine injection, actually, because that thing's already a monster as it is. My god, is it going to be crazy when I get it. Maybe I'll do a video on it. But what I'm doing is pretty straightforward here. I've taken off. I've put myself opposite the enemy climb path. So normally they'll climb off to the north, straight off their runway. I'm going to climb away from them so I can get a little bit more altitude. Because again, this thing... At first I thought, maybe it doesn't really need maybe it does need the altitude. Maybe you have to go to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 meters, boom and zoom, like a P-51D, and that's exactly how I intend to play it. That's the best way of playing any plane, really. Climbing and boom and zooming, because it's safe. For the most part, it's very, very safe. You don't put yourself in front of the enemy's guns. You're always above them, if you play it right. And honestly, it's just a very relaxing way to play. You just boom and zoom, rinse and repeat, and as long as your other teammates don't die around you and they have someone occupying the enemy, then it's okay. It's doable, it's workable. Now, the P-51H comes equipped with 650 cals, and it's honestly a different plane to the P-51D. It's almost a completely different beast. It's got a different wing, which is, I believe it's thicker, so I'm guessing that produces a bit more lift. It's got a better engine, as far as I'm aware, which is bloody insane, and it looks like it's got a revised fuselage, but honestly, if someone wants to let me know exactly what they changed between the D and the H, do let me know, and I will be very, very interested, because I don't know a lot about this plane, except how it performs in War Thunder, and you can see exactly how it performs in terms of climb rate. That's a TAR 152, and it's coming straight for me. He's decided to rush, and he's still at my altitude. Granted, he starts with an air spawn, but I don't know if I want any of that, man. I don't think I want to do any dogfighting just yet. I think I still need to climb, get a bit of altitude, squeeze off a couple of 50 cals, and hits. Not bad, considering that it's not that big. The 50 cals, sure, they do a little bit of stuff, and I'm going to get myself into a dogfight now, because I've decided, it's not a TAR 152H, I can probably turn it with it. So I go to turn with it, and I'm not using my flaps, because I want to conserve as much energy as possible. I don't want to bleed too much speed. I put myself up into a vertical here, so if the TAR wants to follow me, he's going to struggle, because he's not really good at low speed and in turning engagements. So now I'm on top, and there he goes. He realizes that I done goofed, so he's going to go down to the deck, which is, smart, but at the same time it's also extremely stupid, because you're putting yourself at extreme risk. There's not a lot that you can do if you don't have the altitude in props. Now, Speaking of not having the altitude, you can see a bunch of BF-109s and a G56. Now, the G56 is particularly frightening because it can outturn me, and in some cases, it can probably outrun me if I'm not careful. And a K4 also comes out, so he's diving on me, I've got a third, I'm going to have a fourth, and this is where I start to break the rules. I should be climbing, I should be gaining altitude, but I'm not. I'm in a dogfight at low altitude with a BF-109 K4, a TAR 152, and a G56. I'm away from my team, another BF-109 is about to join the fray, and I'm just going to get progressively swarmed by these enemies. It's just because they see an easy target, I guess, and a Tempest is about to join as well. So, realizing I have maybe enough separation, I'm going to engage in a turn fight with this BF-109 K4, and this is where it gets a little bit messy. You see, juggling one target is okay, but juggling two makes it extremely tough, unless, of course, they both decide to stick together. What the TAR should have done is he should have dived on me and then boom and zoomed, and he would have had me because the K4 has got me slow. The Tempest is also going to start doing the same thing, as Spitfire joins the fray. A friendly one, of course, so, maybe I have some hope. I'm about to reverse this TAR 152, and a BF-109 again comes in, but he's too fast, and he stuffs it up. I managed to stuff it up as well. I don't get the hits that I need, and this K4 just comes back. So I'm juggling 4, 5 targets right here, and the Spitfire is doing what he can to try and save me. It's incredibly frustrating having all of these enemies on my 6, but I'm against BF-109 K4s, TAR 152s, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend. That Tempest is probably the only thing that can really catch me. That and maybe the TAR, and maybe that 109 if he's going to keep diving on me. But he decides to turn away. He can see that I'm running, and I guess he just doesn't want to follow. So now, I've turned it from a 4 versus 1, or 4 versus 1.5, considering the Spitfire, to a 2 versus 1, which is still not ideal, but I guess it's okay. It's better than a 4 versus 1. The TAR 152 you can see is lagging behind, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend a little bit more as much as I can until he extends just enough for me to get enough time to deal with this Tempest. You can see I'm going to put myself up into a vertical, and hopefully the Tempest will follow, and you can see that he is in fact following. He decides to go down because the Spitfire is close, and now it is a 2 versus 1 because I've gained the separation and the Spitfire comes in to help me. You can see I'm struggling to get these 50 cals on target, and there I set the fire just in time for the BF-109 to come back. I don't know where the TAR's gone, but he's not a threat at the moment. And you can see now it is another 2 versus 1. I'm going to put myself into a vertical here, risk getting a couple of hits on me, which could have spelt my doom, but I decide to put my flaps out and start turning with the 109 K4. This is where the difference between the D and the K and the H come into play. The K is basically the D30, but the BF-109 K4 is fat and heavy. It is more of a bomber interceptor than a dogfighter. The P-51H, on the other hand, is more nimble. So you're actually able to get on the inside of BF-109Ks a lot easier. Those bigger wings produce a bit more lift, the engine is a bit more powerful, and the BF-109 K4 just really can't do anything. In all honesty, I think the P-51H is a little bit unbalanced. I think it should be 6.7 because it's just so damn good. It's extremely good. I would almost put it as the best prop in the game. As in, overall. I guess there are some better ones. I mean, the CW21 for tier, but at the same time, this thing is insane. It is truly one of the most monstrous fighters in the game because it has the ability to do everything. It has 50 cals, which give it a decent range and decent damage output. It sets fires like you wouldn't believe. It has the energy retention of a P-51. It has the high altitude performance. It has the lift and the turn rate. And it's just, in general, a good plane. It feels good and it feels right. It's responsive. That over there, that Arado is Ash007. My man Ash, who is also a fellow YouTuber. I'm not going to shoot him down because I don't really want to. I think Maybe Ash is recording a video, maybe he's just chilling and doesn't want to be absolutely smashed by a P-51. Maybe he just wants to enjoy himself. And you know what? Ash is my buddy bud. I'll try and put his channel link in the description below. If I don't, someone please remind me. But Ash is a fantastic guy. He's just a really nice guy, and it comes across in his videos. Genuinely good person. Go and have a look. Go and check him out. I'm sure you'll enjoy his content the way I do. So, the P-51H. What I'm going to do now is put it into a slight climb. You see, that dogfight that is going to start to happen between the F-8 F-1B and myself, eventually, and those two planes is going to be a little bit strange. So, the Bearcat looks like he's diving, but, you know, you'll just have to watch it unfold. It's not pretty. It really isn't pretty. But I'm going to gain a little bit of altitude, because if you have a little bit of altitude on your opponents, the difference it makes is actually astounding. In props, altitude is king. Speed comes next, and then positioning as a third. If you're going to come into an engagement of some sort, you need the altitude above your enemy, because that means that if you somehow muck up, you somehow mess up, you have the altitude to gain separation from your opponents. In jets, that's speed. And this Bearcat is doing everything wrong. He's just turn fighting. He's burning all of his energy. He had an altitude advantage, quite considerable, over the G56 and the Bf-109, and he gets set on fire. Wasted. Completely. Honestly, I wish I was there a little bit earlier so I could clean up the G56, but you can see the G56 has put himself into a bit of a stall, and unfortunately for him, I damage him enough, and he is eventually going to go down. I put the plane immediately into a vertical to get away from the Bf-109. You can see that altitude converted to speed, and then back to altitude again, does absolute wonders. The Bf-109 has been turn fighting. He's probably got a damaged engine. So, he's completely out of energy. There's nothing left but to clean him up. It's so easy when you have that altitude, and the P-51H can do everything. It's almost better than the Reggiane, honestly. I think it is actually better than the Reggiane. It's just so versatile. It just does good stuff. And if you play it right, it won't fail you. Unless perhaps the spotting system fails you. But, you know, I'm not going to get into that. I've already been over that a million times, and I really don't feel like being a negative Nancy. Speaking of no negativity, this is Ash coming back. I'm guessing he wants me to shoot him down, but I didn't realize that. I thought he was just going to fly past. Maybe he was recording a video, so maybe he's just he's going to have a chat to, you know, whoever's watching and, you know, have some fun times. And here I go to break my other rule in the P-51, which is shooting down your enemies. You know, Arados are friends, not food, goes for this occasion only because it's Ash flying. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to put on my smoke. He's going to put on his, and we're just going to fly next to each other like good old chums. There he goes. Oh, man. It's truly lovely to have moments like this in game. I don't want to shoot him down. Apparently, he wanted me to shoot him down, but it's not going to happen. So, I'm going to head back to base because there are 2 or 3 enemies left, and I want to clean them up. I want to get my ace so I can show you guys exactly, you know, a fun game. But honestly, I think this game is almost fun enough to put on YouTube as it is. Ash is going to go back to base. I'm going to go back to base. So, I guess it's just to clean up the 288s. The 288s obviously being extremely formidable, but if you come at them from the right angle, they're pretty much useless. Alternatively, if you're an SO8000 Naval, you can practically come at them from any angle because 1MG151 versus 6 is a pretty surefire way to get yourself killed as a 288. Still, you do want to be careful, and the 288 has got that incredible speed, so the P-51H doesn't really need to bother. It can sort of catch up. You don't want to sit behind that 20mm for too long, obviously. I think that goes without saying. But at the same time, if you can get a squeeze of 50 cals off, it's no real problem. You can do it. It's fairly easy. But there goes the first kill. Yes. the Spitfire didn't. I don't know what's going on, man. That's kind of weird. And it's kind of frustrating as well. So, what am I going to do? There's one guy left, and it's Ash. I don't want to kill Ash because I'm a nice guy, and I feel like being nice because Ash is a nice guy. So, I'm going to do the other thing that is a little bit, but wait, that's illegal type thing in the P-51H. I'm going to ground pound. Yes, that's right. I'm going to ground pound in a fighter. You might think, well, it comes with ordnance. Maybe it's intended with ground pounding in mind. It's a P-51. All American fighters come with ordnance because that's just the way the American doctrine works. Multi-role fighters. But if you're in a fighter and you're playing Air RB, the one thing that you should be doing is focusing on the planes because they're the ultimate win. Nothing else gets you the win faster than killing everyone else's planes. Killing ground targets isn't great, but you can look at the tickets and decide that one for yourself. I think I'm going to go for the pillbox. And with 50 cals, even if you have the universal belts, you get some time on target, you shoot through the little slot on the light pillbox, and you'll penetrate it, and you will destroy it. You can see here, I'm going to shoot where I think it might be. I miss, but it's okay because this thing comes with an absolute metric shit ton of 50 cals. So I'm going to bide my time, do another pass, get some distance, and go for another strafing run. It's kind of relaxing doing this, actually, and, doing it with an AM1 or an A2D or an AVD4, any attacker is just therapeutic. So, I was hoping that this last pillbox would end the game, but it doesn't. So, you know what? I'm going to go over to Ash and, see if he's going to say something. Does he want me to team kill? Not team kill. Does he want me to shoot him down? I don't want to team kill Ash. That's... oh, God. But the P-51H is also really fast on the deck. You can see this plane is just an all-round beauty. It does everything well, but not too well. I still think it should be 6.7 because I feel it in some cases, and in fact in most cases, it's better than the Spitfire Mark 24. I don't really like the Spitfire Mark 24 because of the armament, the 20mm Hispano Mark IIs. Obviously, we've discussed how bad Hispano Mark IIs are, and in fact all Hispanos, because they're bugged. But at the same time, the guns just don't work. So why would I take 20 mils when I can take 50 cals? I could take a better boom and zoomer. It's got better energy retention. It's got a comparable climb rate. It's got comparable turning capabilities against its opponents. For example, the only planes that you can potentially outturn in the Spitfire that you can't do in the P-51H are potentially some of the Japanese ones. So, here I go. On to strafe Ash, and then the game ends. So, yeah. I guess that's a win for everyone. I get to get my victory. Can we count it as an ace if I get the ground target? You know what? That's not bad. But anyway, that's pretty much game. And honestly, I had a real blast playing this. The P-51H is fairly capable, and you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. It's just one of those planes that's really, really good, and I kind of wish it had a higher battle rating. Anyway, ladies and gents, I hope you really enjoyed. Remember the Q&A. I'll try and put it in the comments. If not, go to the communities page. But anyways, I hope you really enjoyed. Thank you for getting close to 25k subs. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.